Hello everybody, video here for you today. This is the retro no cap recap of the Curse of Oak Island season 7 episode 4 called The Lucky 13, originally aired November 26th 2019. If you missed any of my recaps of previous and future episodes, there's a link to my Oak Island playlist in the upper right. Let's get into it. Previously on the Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 229 years. The team is continuing drilling boreholes in the upper beach of Smith's Cove near the tree line in front of the cave-in pit. They are attempting to find the flood tunnel. During the previous day/last episode, the team found evidence of dynamite that corroborated the Oak Island Treasure Company's 1897 efforts to blow up the finger drains by drilling 5 boreholes and setting off explosive charges in them. While not successful, one of the explosives caused seawater to boil up and out of the money pit for hours. The new borehole reveals these likely pieces of a beam at 51 feet, as well as pieces of a beam 3 or 4 feet below that. Paul Troutman says there is no historical account of anything being there at that depth. Rick is called to come take a look. Also of note, Terry tells that the soil above and below is undisturbed, so it would have to be a tunnel. Later in the war room, while they update Marty, Gary points out that the wood and the way it is worked is similar to the slipway uncovered in Smith's Cove the previous year. That construction was carbon dated to no newer than 20 years before the discovery of the money pit. That upper beach borehole is shown here at OITC 6. And lining it up with the middle of the U-shaped structure, it goes through 2 of the other walls that they uncovered. And extending that line the other way, it goes through the money pit as shown. We get to see a close-up of where right here. It's further south than most of the boreholes of the past, passing through L, M, N, and O horizontal lines on the grid map. The next day in Smith's Cove, there is nothing found in borehole OITC 8 at target depth, which is not that much of a surprise since they are just guessing on the exact angle the flood tunnel would take to the money pit. They will drill a bit deeper just in case. Rick and Craig meet with Tom Nolan in the war room. They want to get excavating advice from him regarding the swamp, since he and his father Fred spent a lot of time in that location. They and the Laguna team more recently have found a huge number of things that prove that significant work was done in the area of the swamp. Tom says that he will assist with any resources he can bring to the table. After the meeting, Rick, Marty, and Steve meet with a representative from Dammit Dams to discuss their excavation of the swamp. They plan to use the same bladder system used in a smaller excavation of Smith's Cove 3 years prior, shown here. The brown lines on Steven's map that represent where the bladders would be were very hard to see, so I used paint to trace over them very badly in red. Metal detection expert Gary Drayton takes Charles Barkhouse with him to lot 21, where early in the year he found these 2 swages that blacksmithing expert Carmen Legg dated to as early as the 1400s. Mr. Legg has recently put out merch. I'll put a link in the comments. It's a rainy day, and Gary says that makes metal more conductive. He finds what he thinks is a British halfpenny, and due to the size and condition, Gary dates it to 1840s. Then he finds what he suspects to be a brooch or military cap decoration with a rope and leaf design on it. After Charles calls Rick to come take a look, Gary estimates between 15 and 1700. Last year on the same lot, he found this gold-plated brooch estimated to be from the 1300s. The next day, Alex and archaeologist Laird Niven take the find to the University of Acadia to have professional conservator Kelly Barassa take a look. He starts to clean it very gently with non-abrasive tools and says he hasn't seen anything like it before. After the cleaning, you can see much more of the design. Kelly suggests taking it to an antique jewelry specialist to get an approximate date and other information on it. Later, the team meets at the Mug and Anchor pub for the update, and Marty counts the number of branches, and it's 13 on each side. 13 was the number of American colonies. The previous year, theorists presented the idea that an Oak Island treasure may have been involved in, or planned to be involved in, funding the Revolutionary War. This carving on an Oak Island rock is similar to a George Washington Commission battle flag design. It often had 13 branches, a number that was strategically important to both Freemasons and the Knights Templar. In light of Gary's finds on Lot 21, Laird suggests ground-penetrating radar there. As the drilling on the upper beach of Smith's Cove continues in an effort to locate the flood tunnel, the team meets in the war room to get carbon dating results from wood that appears to be from a collapsed tunnel recovered from borehole OITC 6. The result with the highest likelihood is 1735 to 1784, so at the very least, 11 years before the discovery of the money pit in 1795, the dates also are close to the dates of the slipway. The team decides to continue the drilling program to try to intersect the flood tunnel again, and then once they have 2 boreholes, they will drill more boreholes along that same line. They will decide next steps based on those findings. I'll be continuing no-cap recaps of season 7 and 8 until they are done. All of the other episodes are already done and are in my Oak Island playlist. Season 12 will begin airing in November 2024 if they keep to the same schedule as usual. I'm also doing retro no-cap recaps of seasons 2 through 4 of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Seasons 1 and 5 recaps are already all done and are in the Skinwalker Ranch playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Sempre avanti.